Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Pardon the fact that I look kind of like, well, a little more homeless than usual today. I'm actually in the process of unloading from some building supplies for a project I'll talk about later. I don't usually film my videos right now, but not only does this get me out of some of the heavy lifting, I wanted to film a video while I was thinking about it here. Yesterday, by the time you see this video, I put out a video where I talked about the issues Military Arms Channel is having with some people on one of the AK or AR forums. And I talked about how, these people worked for 3 years to get a certain company to agree to make a certain number of guns and ship them over, and they would have first crack at them, blah, blah, blah. It was all kind of a handshake, on your word kind of a deal through a forum. And Tim apparently went to the importer and said, hey, I'll be the retailer for these. I'll handle all of them, which is not really nothing wrong with that, but he completely cut out the people that made it possible. And he responded to my video today about the things I said people are saying and things that, could be true, could not be true. But the things he's responding with leads me more and more to believe he's doing the wrong thing, and he knows he's doing the wrong thing. Because he's using things like, well, FEG didn't have any right to sell them here, so I was doing them, blah, blah, blah. He's not addressing the fact that these people made this possible. You swooped in at the last minute, took control of the inventory, and then did not even offer to sell them to them. And not only that, you are a retailer. You own a gun shop. When a retailer uses their influence and their position to take control of an entire inventory and then doesn't even put them in their retail establishment or offer them to their customers, but instead goes to a third-party source like Gunbroker to maximize profit, that is profiteering. When an individual does that, that's just getting what the market will allow on a gun. But when a manufacturer does that, or a business does that actually has a license and has the ability to control the entire inventory of something, that's profiteering. Now, it may not be illegal in this case, but it's still, in my opinion, immoral. It's definitely shows poor character. And Tim, every response he's making is, I didn't pay for them up front, so it's not that I had the money, and I made an agreement with them to be the retailer, and those people may have made it happen, but they don't have any claim to them. Yeah, they do. They made it happen. Anyone with honor would see that. So no one's saying you're doing anything illegal or you're violating some contracts somebody had. No, we're saying you saw an opportunity to take control of an inventory and then not even sell it at a fair price to your good customers or to the people who actually made it happen. You immediately took them to Gunbroker, which Gunbroker to me should be used by businesses to liquidate inventory that doesn't sell, not to profiteer off stuff the market is wanting by creating a demand, a higher than normal demand. Because when you take it out of your local market or any local market and put it on a national market, you're trying to drive up prices because people know only so many exist and you're trying to create a buying frenzy during a panic time, during a bad time for people trying to find guns. And these are nice guns. They should be selling at a good price, but not put on Gunbroker trying to get twice what your opening bid is. You put the opening bid at a very nice profit on them, and then you hoped it would go up. That was your goal. It wasn't to sell at a market rate like a business should do. It was to create an artificial market value on the guns by advertising the scarcity, showing that you control the inventory, and everybody knowing they're not going to get one any other way unless they pay you twice what they're worth. That's not good business. If a business I frequented did that, I would never buy a single thing from them again, period. I would hope you would recognize that as a business owner, but once again, still not illegal. Lots of shady businesses do things that are not illegal, that aren't right, and I wouldn't do business with them again as one of them. This is basically what Cheaper Than Dirt did back in 2013 that made them dead to most people. So as far as I was concerned, if I was a customer of Copper Customs and I saw those on the internet and I'm like, I never saw those in the store. I never had a right chance to buy those. I buy a gun from them every 2 weeks. I'm one of their best customers. I didn't get an option to buy one of these. I'd be pissed and I'd never buy another thing from you again. If I was one of the people that made it happen on that forum, who for 3 years has been working with a representative from FEG, and Mac says, well, I'm going to have FEG put out a statement that'll settle all this. Oh yeah, it's not going to be hard to get them to side with you over a bunch of nobodies on a forum. That's not going to settle anything. If you want to settle it and show people you're not trying to profiteer, put them on the market in your store to people who follow you, give first crack to the people on that forum, and then maybe give first crack to your patrons, the people who made you wealthy. You know, the ones who watch your YouTube channel that made you wealthy. Give those people a chance to buy it at a fair market price. I'm not even saying at cost. If you want to be a good guy, you could offer it to your patrons at cost because they support you all year long. You're already making a profit off them. But just a fair market price. If you want to really show what you're doing, release the invoices to them. Not doctored invoices that we can check against records. See what you paid for them, what you're selling them for. That should settle any idea that you're trying to profiteer, but I think it's pretty clear you're trying to profiteer off of them. But like I said, if I was one of those people that you cut out of the mix, I'd be mad. I'd be so mad with you. And in fact, you don't seem to get why they'd be mad. And you're like, I'm doing everything by the book. You should have a big old cigar in your mouth and a top hat and walking through the streets, like spitting on peasants as you say that. Because that's the kind of people who do that shit. Now, I understand now Tim has gotten himself in a situation where if he tries to make it right, he's admitting he was doing wrong. But I think that's pretty clear. It's pretty clear. You knew there was a list. You knew other people made this happen. You knew there were people already waiting to get these because of the fruits of their 3 years of labor, being able to deliver it to people, the person who worked for FEG. You know those people exist. Even if you didn't know before, which you did, if you know now, make it right. I know some people will think, oh my God, if I admit that I was doing wrong, I mean, this is a big thing now, especially among conservatives. I don't understand, and really left people too, but I don't understand it where if I admit I was doing something wrong, well, then no one will ever trust me again. I don't trust people who don't admit they were wrong. Period. If you admit you're wrong, I know that is admitting you did something unscrupulous, but it shows character that you're willing to face the consequences and make it right. I try to live by a pretty high standard. I try to make sure a certain percentage of everything I make goes to good causes, and that everything I make off the internet goes to good causes. And it's not because I'm such a wonderful guy. It's because I'm making up for a lot of bad shit I did previously in my life. People who come to my live chats, people who know me personally know that there's a lot of things in my life I'm not proud of that I try to make up for now. And I don't even believe in heaven, so I'm not trying to get into heaven. I'm just trying to even the karmic scales or something, just in case. You never know, there might be one. But just make it right. That's all you got to do. You don't got to release press releases from manufacturers to support your large channel. Who wants you to continue selling their imports through your store. That's not going to prove anything to anybody. What would prove something to somebody is making it right. Because like I said, right now, all that matters is these people are responsible for getting these guns made. This rep from FEG is responsible for getting these gun made and getting these guns imported. You took over the inventory from the importer, Trident or whatever their name is, and said, I'll sell them all. I'll handle all the business. I'll handle getting them into the hands of people that are wanting to buy them. They don't know who the people are. They didn't have a list of the people. You know who the people are, or at least where you can find them. But instead of doing that, instead of giving them to the people that, were in line for them, or offering them in your store like an honest retailer should, you decide to go to a third-party market and try to create an inflated value. That's profiteering. Period. Plain and simple. No matter how many excuses you use or how you funded them. That's what's getting me. He made this long list of things responding to me on Patreon, which I am a patron of him, so I read it and I responded. And people might be like, why are you still a patron? I'm a patron of so many fucking gun channels. I give over like $1,500 a month now to gun channels. And I'm not going to stop because I always hope that even bad gun channels will eventually do something good. But like I said, I read it, and it's like, I didn't pay up front for them. I just agreed to respond to sell them. I didn't this and I didn't that. And FEG said this and FEG. None of that fucking matters. None of the legalese and the loopholes and all that shit matter at all. It's about character. Even if you didn't know it at first, you know it now. So fix it. And even if you didn't know that at first, and even if these didn't exist, I'd still be calling you out because, like I said, you're a distributor to the people. You have a license, a business license. You provide a service. I don't go to Walmart during a crisis and find out, well, we're not selling you all toilet paper today. We put it on eBay and we're getting 5 times the cost for it. That would be horrible. And that's what you're doing. You took control of the entire market of these guns that you had no hand in getting them made or making them available. You agreed to provide a service. That would be awesome if you agreed to provide that service and then you doled them out at a reasonable profit to all the people that were on the list. That'd been awesome. Oh, another thing he was talking about, oh, Yankee said 100 guns, and there's not even 100 guns in the country. I only got 50. The 50 are still coming. What is that as a defense? That's not a defense. That's the kind of bullshit side stuff that someone who knows they're guilty tries to throw out there to make a smoke screen. Do the right fucking thing. That's all you got to do. Nothing else is going to change anything you did here. You stepped in fucking shit, and now you stink of it. So either wipe it off and do the right thing, or accept that most people are going to label you as the guy who smells like shit. Accept the labels people you wronged are going to put on you. And you will deserve them. So far, what I see, you deserve to be called a profiteer. And I haven't seen you make any effort to right that. You deserve to be called an asshole for swooping in and not letting these people, not honoring this verbal agreement that these people had with this company. All of this is just bad business and bad personal responsibility, personal standards that you hold yourself to. It shows that you have a very low level of what you consider acceptable when you do it. You wouldn't accept that from anybody else. I've heard you speak against people doing the very same thing. So don't act like, oh, because I said it was a Discord and it wasn't a Discord you posted on because you don't use Discords. I don't care what it was you posted on. I don't understand what these fucking things are anyway. I don't even know what a Discord is. But that was one of the things someone said, and I just associated it with another thing they said about the post you made. And I've heard you say the things they said you posted. So I know you do have said that in the past. And then now you're doing it. And like I say, I think you're in a situation now where you feel like, fuck, I did something bad. I got caught. Now, if I admit that I did it bad and try to make it right, I'm admitting that I was wrong, and I can't do that. I think it's a lot better if you admit, hey, I didn't realize that these people actually really wanted them. If they really want them, I'll sell them to them. Of course, at a fair market price. I'll mark them up. You have a standard markup in your store, what you mark things up. I would hope you're not going to sit here and tell us that in your store, if Smith & Wessons are short supply, you mark them up 3 times what you normally mark them up because, fuck the customers, supply and demand. A lot of businesses did that during 2013, and you know where they are now. They're out of business. So I hope you're not telling us that. I'm hoping you're saying, I should have put them in my store at my standard markup and made a tidy profit. You say like, oh, I got 100 of these guns. I got 50 now, 50 later. I'm going to sell them to all these people. I already got a market that wants them. I'm going to make $1,000 off each gun. That's $100,000 profit off of almost no work on my part. Just some shipping, and I've got a shipping department. And probably we'll just have them drop shipped to FFLs in other areas, so I won't even have to do that. That would be the right answer because you own a business and you have customers. And you also have a YouTube following, people who support you every week. Every month, they give you money out of their accounts. You profit off these people all year long. Maybe you should offer it to them at a fair market price. Definitely you should offer it to the people who made it happen. But like I said, admitting you're wrong is the only way to make it right. And doing the right thing. The right thing would not be going to a third-party site as a retailer who controls the market, controls the inventory. That's not right. That's profiteering. That's shady business shit. And I wouldn't give you business if you did shit like that. So you say, fuck, that was a mistake. Yeah, we meant to just put it in our store and we're going to just mark it up the regular amount and sell them. We're still going to make a good full markup on it. We ain't going to have to bargain. Nobody's going to be able to talk us down on the price. We paid $3,800 for them, so we're selling them each for $5,200. And we're going to make, $1,600 or $1,500 or whatever it is, $1,400 is what I think that is, on each gun. It's $140,000 profit for nothing, just for drop shipping up 100 guns. It would be awesome. I'd love to make that kind of money on something that would take me a couple days. But do the right thing. When you get backed into a corner, that's when people really see who you are. If you have the fortitude and the common decency to stand up and go, you know what, I was doing wrong and I'm going to do right. That makes you more of a man, in my opinion. So you can make all the excuses you want to make. You can get all the businesses to support you that you want them to support you. Fact is, you hurt people. You cut people out of a loop that they actually created. You took a product that you have a responsibility as a retailer to offer to your customers at a fair markup, and you took it to a third-party vendor and tried to create an artificial value. None of those are good things. So admit those things are not good and fix them. You have a right to fix them. You have the ability to fix them all right now. And whether you do fix them or not, it's going to tell us what kind of person you are. You could talk to me like, oh, we used to be friends and blah, blah, blah. We've never been friends. We've been friendly. But this kind of stuff, not admitting you're wrong, wouldn't be friends with anyone who does that, period. You won't see me cheat any of my viewers. You won't see me cheat any of my customers if I had customers. I don't own businesses anymore. But when I did, I didn't cheat my customers. When absinthe was really hard to get, really hard, and I got a good deal on some bottles, I put it at the standard markup and sold it to my customers because they're my customers. And I owe them some loyalty because they gave me loyalty. I didn't go, whoo, I could put these on eBay and make 10 times what I'll make selling them in the store. Didn't do that. Or I didn't say I can go down here to the bungalow where they'll pay me 5 times per bottle what I paid for them and make a huge profit off of them. Didn't do that. Sold them to my customers. That's how business should work. That's how a man should do business. And I'm not saying I always did that. Like I said, I got a lot to make up for in life, both business-wise and personally. But I don't see you trying to make up for it. I see you just making excuse after excuse after excuse. So, like I said, ball's in your court. You can use all the double speak and the correcting minor things and trying to muddy the waters by saying, they said I kicked 8 puppies. I only kicked 6. 2 of them I pushed. That doesn't fucking matter. Make it right. Because if you don't, you're showing everybody what kind of person you are. Hey, I got to come back here for a second before I move on and add one thing. Someone sent me a screenshot of their conversation with Mac where they asked him, well, how did this happen? What is your deal with Trident? He said, I didn't swoop in and buy them all from Trident when I found out these people got them imported. I went to Trident and we arranged a profit sharing deal. He's trying to explain off how he hasn't done anything wrong by saying this. And in doing so, he's exactly illustrated what he did wrong. These guns were coming in. These people made it happen. These people thought they were going to buy them. Trident thought they were going to sell them at a certain amount. And then Tim, someone with a gun shop, a big gun shop, and a huge internet channel said, hey, why don't we sell them on the secondary market, circumvent the main market, even though he's part of the main market in the retail market? Why don't we circumvent the retail market, make twice as much money on it, and I'll split it with you? And of course, Trident said, wow, that'll be a lot more profit, 2 to 3 times probably, if not even more. So they went for it. So the only thing I'm going to change, in my opinion, so far is that Mac just kind of told us what he did. He went to him and said, hey, I can put these suckers on Gunbroker, use my influence, get people over there to buy them and sell them all at, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 instead of the $4,000 you promised the other people. And then we split the profit. That's even scummier as far as I'm concerned. So in trying to explain what he's doing, he made it worse as far as I'm concerned. So he just pretty much told us what he did. And when someone tells you what they are, believe them. And the only thing I'm changing right now is before, up until now, I've said I don't really blame the importer. They probably didn't know what's going on. Now I do believe the importer knew what was going on. They saw a chance to double, triple, quadruple their profits just by screwing over some people on a handshake deal, and they took it. So the only thing I think differently now is that Trident is probably just as scummy. All right, everybody, I have gone way long, and this is going to be a long video, but I did want to ask one question here. I'm not going to be able to do this as a regular video. We're not going to do gun talk, and we're not going to do viewer EDC. But I did want to ask people one question if you actually stuck around to the end of this shitfest of a video. I am building a safe room here. That's the project I'm working on. And don't worry, I'm not going to bore you all with building the safe room. But if you want to see what I'm doing as I go along, I'll probably put it on my Patreon page. So if you want to see it, just go over there. I don't even think you have to be a member to see it, because I don't think I'll list those as members only. You can just see it there. Also, I wanted to ask people, since I am building this, I'm building a reinforced wall. These walls are already reinforced. They're wood, drywall over wood over 6-inch spaced studs, because it's built to wind specifications, and it's got sheet metal around the outside. Believe me, when they came and installed the system up here for my heating and cooling, they're like, this thing's a fucking vault. I was like, yeah, I know, because of wind issues. So it's reinforced all the way around. I just got to build a wall here that I reinforce, and I'm going to do that, but I have to order a door for it. And right now, money's tight, because this ain't being cheap. It's going to cost me so far I've already spent like $1,500 just on pegboard and hooks for my guns and stuff like that. Not pegboard, slatboard, and materials to build the wall, because I'm putting the heavy duty steer fencing, that's the thick cable fencing that you need like a soldering iron or a bolt cutter to get through. Putting that under the drywall for extra defense. So not cheap to build the wall. It's like a $500 wall just in materials for the wall. But I got to buy a door. That's going to be a big expense. And I'm torn between going two ways. One, just a regular security door. One, a vault door. Now, the security door I'm looking at is this one. It's about $700. It has multi-locking points. It's got a steel frame. It's a very secure door. It's fire resistant, all this other stuff. So it's a very secure door. It just has a key lock. I don't know if you could change that out to a button pad or anything, but it's just got a key lock. But, that wouldn't be too hard. I could put a key keeper in here, one of those push button key keepers somewhere. And I wouldn't forget the combination to that. And that would provide good security. But is it ugly? Yeah. Would it be the best security? Probably not. Another door would probably be a little better. And the door I'm looking at that's a little better is just a vault door. Now, it's twice as expensive, though. It's $1,400 and something. Now, it looks nicer. It would be a little more secure, but it has downsides, too. I mean, it might attract attention. Like someone comes in and sees that door, they might be like, well, that's a vault. I'm getting in there. Whereas the other door, they might be like, that's where they keep the old car parts and stuff. I'm not going to bother with it, since there will be a safe in the other room that if they want to break into a safe, there's one there. So I'm trying to decide between these two. Do I go cheaper and less, showy to where people would be drawn to it? Or do I go more expensive that looks better, has a digital pad that I can enter to get into it? And a lot of people are going to say, well, what's it matter? Go with the one that's more secure. Well, neither of them are going to be super secure because, even if the walls are super secure, it would still be easier to come through the wall. That's anything, unless it's even if it's concrete. Sledgehammer goes through cinder blocks pretty easy. But I'm not worried about people doing that. I'm not trying to build an impenetrable vault. I mean, I've got security cameras, motion detectors, alarms. If anyone ever come in here, it's going to set off a siren. If they don't enter the keypad on the door, it's going to set off a siren. It's going to flash lights. It's going to, I'm going to be able to see them on the camera. I'm going to be able to talk to them and go, I've already called the police. And then I'll start firing 12-gauge slugs through the wall, through the doorway right here. Let them see how long they want to stay around. I'll fix some holes in the doors and walls. It'd be worth it to fire a couple slugs at them. So I'm not trying to build an impenetrable fortress. I've got security, cameras, alarms, myself, my dogs, everything else to deal with the people if they get here. I just want to slow them down enough so that stuff can take effect. But there's the two options. The regular security door, a lot cheaper and a lot less obvious, or the other door that's twice as much, more secure, and also attract a little more attention if people did get in here. Not that I think anyone's going to get in here, but which one would you do? Would you go with the $700? Probably an 8 out of 10 security as far as doors go, or would you go $1,400 for probably an 8.5 out of 10 as far as security doors go? Let me know, which one would you do? Would you do the security door or the vault door? Just say security door or vault door. I look forward to hearing what you have to say. All right, that's the show today. I went way over my normal time. I hope you enjoyed it, although I don't see how you could enjoy this one. But I still hope you come back again tomorrow. And until then, I'll just sign off by saying, as far as the state of the world today is concerned, it is what it is. But if we continue to keep our heads about us and ignore the fear mongers and the profiteers and the people who want to make us angry and afraid so that they can manipulate us or profit off of us, if we ignore those people, what things will be in the future is better.